This is the video, by the way. Got it loaded up. This is called the FF14 Party Finder Problem. And I'm curious if he's going to talk about Chaos and Light. Because as you all know, Light is very popular with PF compared to Chaos with Ultimates. Hell, even now there's more raiding going on in fucking PF and Light. So we'll check this out.
Problem that's hurting my pocket and hurting my soul right now.
Empty. Light. Yeah. There it is. That's what I was saying. Literally what I was saying before I started the video.
Chaos is dead. And it's not the only dead data center.
Chaos is dead.
Each region has one DC that's bustling and lively for endgame activities, with populated player hubs, quick queues, and party finders filled to the seams with content, ready to enjoy.
More diluted chaos.
The others look like this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Initially, choice-based cross-world gameplay didn't even exist at all, let alone cross-data center. If you wanted to play
Light is definitely more centered for
server,
like PFing.
one of you had to bite the bullet and transfer or make an ult. Or alternatively, you had to hope to queue up together in the duty finder. In fact, I remember during Heaven's Ward, my static was looking for a new player, and so we posted on the usual recruitment locations, and we actually found somebody that fit the bill pretty well, and we wanted to have a trial session with that player. But he happened to be on a different server. The only way we could get into Savage content with him whatsoever was for us to both queue for a Savage turn at the same time in the raid finder, with the Japanese language selected in order to reduce the players that could be matched with us. We still ended up getting a random guy in our party despite all that.
Wait, is this how it was before? You had to queue up at the same time? You can't just like make a party together? If they're on a different server? Interesting. That's so weird. I'm kind of glad that's not the case anymore. But at the same time, when you PvP in the game right now, that's basically what people are doing right now. If you're trying to play Crystal Conflict right now, it's kind of a joke if you're trying to play with friends. Because you actually can't. You just press play at the same time and then, yeah, just pray that you're going to be playing with your friend. Because there's no fucking way that you will. Unless you're lucky.
So we had the fun choice of deciding whether to be the bad guys or just biting the bullet and not getting to trial. I still credit cross-world parties and Party Finder as being one of the single most impactful positive changes in Final Fantasy XIV history. Before that, servers were isolated.
Haven't been around since.
And while it's fair to claim that there was a warm and homely community feeling to them.
Wow, look how many people are standing here. It's kind of crazy to see.
Which there was. It could be hard to get people together to run content that you wanted to if you hadn't already managed to build strong social roots. The Party Finder was threadbare, and pugging things like Savage with random players was somewhat of a rarity. Cross-world recruitment was added in patch 3.5 at the end of Heaven's Ward. It's pretty
common now.
And this changed the game completely, because it expanded the player pool that each person had access to tenfold.
Oh, look at this. So this is when they released it, huh, in the patch notes? The Party Finder has been expanded to include players from all other worlds on the same data center. Players will now be able to recruit characters from any of these worlds and form cross-world parties. Players will be able to use the party chat and register duties in cross-world parties as they would normally. Wow. That's crazy. I thought this was a thing added from the start of the game. I didn't even know that they added it later. That's kind of pretty cool to find out. That's actually cool. But that's how it was for you guys. If you guys played back then, damn. That is crazy. In ARR, EU people didn't have their own server. EU servers were located in Canada. So they had to... Wait, what? EU servers were in Canada? So they might as well be Canadian servers at that point. What the fuck? That's kind of weird.
Anecdotally, I think this is what led to the rise of the Savage and eventually Ultimate pugging scene. The necessity of statics began to fade, because with community-mandated uniform strats and a massively increased pool of players that were interested and motivated to learn hard content, became party finders to
Yeah.
learn together. This was amazing because it
True.
removed the potentially stressful obligations you'd have to a group. Shift workers or those with limited availabilities could just do their prog in Party Finder with random people whenever they had an hour or two free. Sure, you'd lose the predictability of being in a group, and you may need to roll the dice on the PF quality every time, but it was still a really, really good half measure. This led to a massive increase in engagement in extreme and savage content especially, and at the end of Stormblood, cross-world visitation was implemented to compound on this, letting people transfer to run maps, visit one another's housing, access hunts, and socialize.
Oh wow, so this is when they added the ability to visit another world server. But not DC. They added DC a little bit later. It's kind of cool though, like, so in Heaven's War they added PF, and you can play with other people in the world. And then they added visit another world server. And then later on they added DC travel. So I wonder what's next. Cross-world DC PFing? I mean, that might be hard to do, though. I don't know how they're going to manage to do that. We'll just have to see. NA and NA2, current PF quality reflects the expansion. Like cross-region travel. I think it'd be cool to have cross-region PF. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. Because then even the Chaos people, like Chaos PF is basically like, why make a Chaos PF if you can make a Light PF? So most people that are Chaos people are going to Light to raid anyway, you know what I mean?
In one short expansion, Final Fantasy XIV had turned from a massive collection of small microcosms into these much larger collective social bubbles. And in Endwalker, the biggest change of all would come as the capstone to this movement. Cross-data center travel was implemented in patch 6.18, and it, for those who had lost friends in the great data center
That was good. That was a good change.
had an amazing homecoming moment. And the expectation was that now, because you could play with anybody, it would push pugging to all new heights.
Yeah.
And to an extent, it did.
It
But
definitely
there's been
did.
a bit of a
Without it, as a Chaos player, I could have never played on like the ultimate PFs. Well, I mean, you could in Chaos at the time, right? It's what I did for UCOB, right? Played in Chaos. That's what I did for Ubu, because, you know, DC travel wasn't a thing. But it's kind of cool, though, to join a DC that is, like, focused on that content primarily. And there's, like, you know, we have LPDU, of course, you know? So there's that. I would have never cleared TDSR top if not for that. Yeah, like, I wouldn't have PF'd it. I wouldn't have... It would just been different experience. So I'm kind of grateful that they added that, honestly. The ability to travel through DCs. Would be nice to join American friends on my main. True. Like, region travel. Yeah. Definitely should be a thing. Definitely. I did DRS and BA on Light thanks to Light Forays group. Oh, that's sick. Oh, I still haven't even done that yet. I want to do Deliverance Savage one time at least. I know it's big. I know it's huge on Chaos. At least that's what I'm told. Because of this one Discord server called Chaos Travels something? Night something. I forgot what it was called, honestly. Chaos Night Travel, something like that. Late night, that's it. Yeah. It's like a huge Discord that organizes runs for that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, late night Chaos.
problem
It's a big deal.
festering in the shadows ever since.
So Chaos really pops
and now
off
that
on
the
that.
dust has settled and the community has collectively found its new normal, this problem has come to light. Because you can play wherever you like.
Ha! Good one, Rinon.
Problem festering in the shadows ever since. And now that the dust has settled and the community has collectively found its new normal, this problem has come to light.
This problem has come to light.
Because you can play wherever you like,
Good one.
but you can only access the party finder of the data center you are on at any given time, it only makes sense to go to the most populated one, right? But this in itself is a self-perpetuating Ouroboros, because players began to travel to the more populated Party Finder DC to PF, which led to the other DCs being dead, which led to more players migrating to spend their time or even...
That's what I did. I transferred to light because of this.
Transfer permanently. The problem has...
I transferred permanently, yep, that's what I did.
It's grown and grown as more and more people heard, oh, if you want a PF, you should go to X. Until now, it's at the point where if you're on the wrong data center, you may struggle to fill your party finders at all. Now, the difference between data centers looks like this. So now, we live in this current situation. Endgame content is going through a bit of a boom. More players than ever are participating in Extreme, Savage, and Ultimate.
Yeah.
And those pieces of content are more accessible than ever thanks to the accessibility and ease of use of the Party Finder. As long as you're on the right data center for your region, that is. If not, good luck, buddy. Because if you even manage to fill your P9S Party Finder within 2 hours on the wrong DC, you would consider that a hugely lucky occurrence. Now I can hear you already. Just data center travel to Pug, and to that I have only one reply. I do. But it's annoying! Players that data center travel have a bunch of annoying limitations. As a traveler, you can't
use retainers.
Receive Moogle mail. You can't access your retainers, access free company chat, or the buffs.
It's so fucking stupid, I agree.
Use your home data center link shells.
Yeah.
And you're locked out of even accessing certain timed nodes as miner and botanist. These may all seem like minor things, but considering that it's an expectation in Raid to use food, you can't access your food buff, forcing you to use squadron rationing manuals and hope that you're...
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Actually, I'm just going to show it here too. It's literally why I have... Right? I only have 10 now. I used up quite a lot. But I use this. And then I stopped using them when I went to Chaos, because I'm in an FC now with Cutie Baka. So... yeah, he's right about that. True. Also, I'm gonna move my face cam at the bottom right, just in case I'm like, I don't know if it's covering Rinon's cat. I'm sorry.
You remember to use one before you pop your food every time, even though you never do. I can't look at my link shells that nobody talks in anyway and pretend that I have friends. I can't update my prices from my retainers, or even access my relics and weapons that I keep in one of them. Which
I literally was at a point where I stayed in light. As a Chaos main, I stayed in light for months. I never went back to Chaos. So I couldn't adjust my retainers, I couldn't sell shit. And it's just like annoying that I have to transfer back to sell it, because the moment I do that, I'm just gonna go back to light. I'm just gonna go back, and like I'm wasting like all this weird annoying time, and you have to do it regularly just to like sell stuff in your retainers. It's just fucking annoying, you know? So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna move to light permanently, and that's what I did. Yeah, so he's totally right about this. And I kinda wish maybe Square Enix could find a way to tackle this properly. I don't know.
Which is an especially annoying one considering the limited armory chest space, combined with the fact that certain old relics are best in slot for ultimate content, and that's where I keep them. And because I play a variety of jobs, I just don't have the space to hold on to all of them at once. So the potential solutions are to travel back to Chaos, grab the relic, travel back to Light, and then hope that the PF I wanted to join hasn't filled that spot within that time window, or I use a worse weapon that does less damage. Not ideal. But it's not...
Yeah, the process is so shit, actually. You know? Because the PF might fill up, and by the time you come back, it's like, well, what the fuck? Nothing you could do about it, because you had to get out. It's not like if you join it, and your spot will be, like, reserved or something.
Not just me that's struggling. Let's look at what others think about this.
Huh. Oh my god, he put my name! Dude, it's me! It's me! Pog! You guys see that? Wait, let me move my chat. It's me, dude. This is what I said. I can speak for PF. Chaos PF for rating is dead. No one puts up parties for ultimates. Trial Savage rarely. You'll find way more in Light. I got to a point where I traveled to Light and stayed there for a year, then eventually decided to transfer. Plug, you put my tweet. Let's go. Hey, based and true. That guy who tweeted that is based and true. Man, he's so right. He's so fucking right.
People felt similarly to me.
It's 100% of benefit to Ether, Mana and Light and a detriment to everyone else. Materia does not care.
Some people don't care what you think.
It's not going to change back. Get used to it and just go to Ether.
And at least some people are making the most of it.
Wait, Square Enix adds cross DC travel to FF14. Me. Buys out every Mora in North America except for Marlboro and the ones that are over like 1 million. I actually don't know what any of this Mora stuff is. Is that some gathering?
So, what's the solution? In one sentence, region-wide party finder.
Region-wide
okay,
party finder.
So maybe it's not quite as simple as that, but the core is that when you're on your home server, you should have access to 3 different party finder tabs. You have access to World Party Finder, you have access to Data Center Party Finder, and you have access to the new region-wide Party Finder. It's that simple. And when you're adding a listing for yourself, you can simply provide an optional checkbox to enable the PF for region listing, in the exact same way that you currently enable a listing for Cross-World Party Finder. This makes it opt-in, but so easy and accessible to opt in that even the most casual player would instantly understand that yes, this is a good idea aside from in the most specific circumstance.
Absolutely perfect, 100,000,000% agree. I think it's good that he this is actually way better idea than I thought in my head. Like having a tick option for that is really good because, you know, if someone doesn't want, you know, Chaos to join their parties, he can do that. Or if you want the party fill fast, enable all. Yeah, this is like this is a great solution actually. Yeah. And actually if they add this, it would be perfect.
I know that World
for both
Party
Chaos
Finder
and
is
Light.
pretty dead right now, aside from the occasional RP venue listing, map party, or lonely Mikote boy looking for GF.
And also, we have to consider PvP. Who the fuck, like, why is PvP locked per DC? Actually, why? You know what I'm saying? PvP is kind of already small. I feel like Chaos and Light should be able to play against each other. Just by queuing up. I feel like it should be that by default. Maybe if they don't want to make it default, make it like Rinon said. There's a tick option that puts you in so you can play with Chaos if you're Light and all that. I feel like it's good. Yeah, big time. Lonely Miko boy looking for GF. Not like we're not okay. Yeah, looking for GF. 10 million gil to spend 1 hour. Worth it. This is Rag's over. I always let Rag know when his head is pointing forward. Yours looking pointing forward and pulling on your shoulder muscles. How does your neck feel? Do you want to take a stretch to help your neck? How does my neck feel? Sorry, I don't understand. Yeah, sorry, I didn't understand the message very well.
For GF. Please. But there is a reason why these things should be opt-in rather than automatic. On certain data centers, language barriers aren't the only thing to consider, but you also need to worry specifically about cultural barriers. I'm talking mainly about JP here, but a decent subset of Japanese players are still, unfortunately, pretty xenophobic and do not want to play with non-JP speaking players, to the extent of putting JP only party finders up and being very selective of players that don't meet those requirements. Those players would likely not be exactly happy to see more English-speaking players invade their PF lists when the elemental players are incorporated should the region-wide party finder be implemented. So it makes sense to me to have the experience be opt-in completely. If you want to, you can leave the tick box unticked and keep that smaller player pool in exchange for more exclusivity. You can do that should you want to. We could even go one step further at this point and make all of the duty finders region-wide honestly. Now,
Yeah.
when it comes to the actual logistics,
I think having the option to opt in, like he's mentioning, I think that's an overall W. People aren't going to complain about anything because it's an opt-in feature. You're not forced to do something that the game wants you to do. You just fucking opt in or opt out. Yep. That pretty much solves the whole problem.
and infrastructure of this, I'm clueless, and I acknowledge that. Maybe this is totally impossible, but in my heart of hearts, I don't really believe
They will kick
that.
you if you're not Japanese
Neither
speaking?
does Yoshi P.
Oh, wow.
Because he stated the following a little earlier in the year in a Famitsu interview. Some sort of worldwide duty finder system or content matching and registration system is currently under consideration. They're worried about cultural things though, and it's a big technical challenge.
I didn't even know he said that.
besides. If this
Holy.
is something that's actually under consideration, or the early stages of implementation, that means that playing with players on a different data center within the same region, a much less extreme step, should be within the realm of possibility as well. And whilst a worldwide duty finder and even party finder sounds great, that too opens up an entire can of worms that I'm not really sure I'm ready to talk about in this video, aside from to mention the obvious ping issues. And it isn't something that is needed. Cross data center, I feel, is. And it's something that I'm really hoping to see implemented as soon as next expansion. If not, well, I guess I better
That's
get
really
used to
cool
traveling
that
for
Yoshi
another
P actually
expansion.
said that.
I miss
That's
my
big.
retainers. Thank you so much for watching today. Do you think there's any other solution to this issue? Do you think it's even a problem? I'd love to get more opinions from other FF14 players, so let me know in the comments. Maybe, for those of us that are struggling out here with needing to constantly region travel, this might get a couple of extra eyes and ears on the problem, who knows? Have a fantastic day all, and I will see you next week with another video. Have a good one.
Oh man, that was such a good video. That was an excellent video. Oh, posture check. Oh, okay, that's what she's trying to say. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I forget how I'm sitting. I guess I'm not really like thinking about how I'm sitting, but it's true. I should sit more up forward. I don't know. I'm kind of like leaning like this because I guess I'm just like listening. It's almost like I'm going closer to listen, even though I have a fucking headset. But I just kind of subconsciously do that, you know. It's like, you know, I'm like going in because I want to listen and like get more knowledge. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm like that sometimes. But anyway, yeah, that was a really good video. That was a really good, really good video. It's kind of cool. He put me in the video. He put my tweet in the video. That's fucking awesome. Really cool that he did that. I forgot what it was, where it was in the timestamp, but yeah, it was there. It was really cool. That was awesome. Yeah, I think the solutions that Rinon put, I think are really good. Having an option to opt in or opt out of something, I think is an overall W. You should be able to do that. If I would like to make a PF and opt in to let Chaos players be able to join this party or not join the party, I think it's a good solution. And also, like, because Chaos PF is dead, right? Doesn't mean that, like, we shouldn't, let me rephrase this. We shouldn't, like, just not care about Chaos. You know what I mean? Because the people that are on Chaos, they don't always want to DC travel to Light just to raid and then go back to Chaos to do the retainer shit and then go back to Light to raid. You know, it's a long process. It's annoying. The process is annoying. You can't use FC buffs in the other DC. That is true. Yeah, he's pretty much right on all this. I completely agree. I'm just saying DC discourse in general. Oh, jaded. Sorry, I don't actually know what that means. Let me check. Jaded definition. What does that mean? Ah! Bored or lacking enthusiasm, typically after having too much of something. Physically tired, exhausted. Ah, okay, so you are jaded at the DC discourse. What's discourse? I'm so stupid. I'm sorry, dude. I don't actually know Discourse means like discussion, right? Written or spoken communication or debate. Ah, it's like debate. Spoken commit. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay. I understand now. You jaded at the data center talk or debate in general. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it, dude. It's just I like talking about it mainly because I like PFing in light and stuff, I guess. I don't know. But I still think it'd be cool to play with Chaos people. I mean, we kind of do. It's just like done in an inconvenient way, I guess. You know? The whole harder Chaos is bad. Yeah, that's stupid. You know? Like, Chaos isn't bad. It's just that PF, after DC travel, made it, like, way less popular. It's like... I have a question for you, chat. Let me put the music lower. Let me do my jump puzzle. I have a question for you, chat. If you guys want to go party, right, at the club or whatever, would you go to a party that has 100 people, or would you go to a party that has 3 people? I don't know, like, if you want to really party, 3 people... Okay. Maybe that was a bad example, because I would get some people want to go with less people. But let's say, to make a party, to make a nightclub party, you're required to have, like a certain group of people, and that group of people can never be met or something. You would just go to the one that has the more people so that you can actually start a party, like a nightclub party. I don't know, I'm not really giving the best example right now, but I'm just thinking like usually people like to go where there's a lot of people so that things can happen and stuff. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Forget the nightclub analogy. But yeah, I would stay home. I would too, actually. Fuck that, you know, I just want to play League of Legends and lose my fucking mind. Or have a good time and watch Arcane. Which, by the way, I am right now. I'm watching Arcane. I think it's really good. Episode 5 in Arcane, by the way, right now. I'm gonna watch it after the stream. It's really good. Knowing Common Tower makes you want to data center travel and race you? Go for it. I like to do this usually when I just yap about random shit. That video was awesome, by the way. Very, very nice video by Rinon. Yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, the people that say, you know, that shit on Chaos, I know there's a lot of people in Light that shit on Chaos, but they don't recognize that literally most of the people that raid in Light right now, they're from Chaos. They're from Chaos, they DC travel to raid here. So, they are part of it. You know what I mean? They are quite literally part of the fucking... the PF. And so when people say Chaos bad, they don't recognize that they're actually part of Light too. When it comes to the raids. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah, it's like I don't really like take those you know, the arguments seriously from people that like shit on Chaos or something. Because I mean, I was a Chaos player, right? I was a Chaos player on Louis Soir, and then, you know, eventually, like, the only reason I transferred was basically because of the reasons Rinon mentioned. Like, the retainer stuff, fucking annoying. Grabbing stuff from your retainer, you would have to DC travel. There's, like, a lot of restrictions. You can't use your Grand Company, that is true. You can't do a lot of things like that, and it's just annoying. So... I'm basically, like, thinking about that, really. It's mainly that. And, like, at the same time, I met a lot of cool people in Light already. That, like, I might as well transfer because I know so many people here already. Like I said, I literally got to a point where I just never go back to Chaos for, like, months. And I just sit there in Light on my non-home server, not being able to do all the stuff that I should be doing on Chaos. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Thancred's wife. How's it going, Thancred's wife? Thancred's wife, I have all the respect for you. You are Thancred's wife, after all. And Thancred's my favorite character. Wow. That's kind of base, to be honest. Yeah, Yugiri, Thancred, and Estenan. I love these characters a lot. Both DCs have their pros and cons. True. Yeah, Chaos is still fucking massive, though. For real. Tenshijin! I've made it to the top, baby!